We rag on Madden all the time for just being a roster update. Folks line up around the block, eager to get the latest footballs, hoping for a meager improvement to the actual gameplay, but ultimately coming away disappointed. So this is the same thing, right? You get a number of pre-made decks featuring whatever's in the new base set for that year, a progression of challenges to unlock new decks, and add new cards to the decks you already have, and a scad of online multiplayer formats. It's been more or less the same thing for years now, right? Well, almost right. Duels of the Planeswalkers actually succeeds in its attempts at innovation. Sometimes. The gameplay is the same as it's been since I was 12 and Ice Age just happened. Sure, the mechanics have been tweaked to hell since then. Now we don't worry about mono artifacts and interrupts and mana sources and the like. But the same basic concepts of dropping lands, casting creatures and spells, and attacking with creatures to deplete your opponent's health are the same as they've ever been. What changes is the construction of the decks you have available. While they stick to consistent archetypes, the cards themselves vary from year to year, just to keep things fresh. Using one of these decks, you slam through a series of opponents in some extremely fluffy plot-like substance. Now with the occasional vocal interlude. This is the baseline, this is what we're used to. And then something like the sealed mode comes along to turn everything on its ear. You see, the primary complaint about these boxed up versions of Magic was that the decks you could use outside of some small modifications are predetermined, and thus it lacks an aspect considered by many to be an integral part of the game, if only because it lets them justify their massive expenditures on pieces of cardboard. Behold the brand new sealed mode, where you start with a number of packs of cards and have to assemble some kind of deck from what you're given. I know, right? Actual deck construction, only using just a base set so there isn't too huge a card pool. This runs you through a side campaign where some fights might give you yet another booster pack to further enhance your deck, whatever you end up playing. As is standard for these releases, you've got a fairly minimalist, out-of-the-way soundtrack, sound effects that you might not immediately mute, new and sometimes improved versions of card art that thankfully don't feature Anson Maddox's creepy vein-licking Singir vampire, and a variety of game modes up to and including that weird two-headed giant format. Online support allows you to play with 1 to 3 other card floppers. And since this is Magic and it'd be pointless if they didn't try to nickel and dime you, there's a world of DLC for you to shell out for, including new decks, additional runs at the sealed campaign, and perhaps most ridiculous of all, foil conversions for your existing cards. That's right, you can spend $1 to turn the fake pieces of cardboard into shinier fake pieces of cardboard. This is the phenomenon for which the words "I don't even" were created. Still, despite its foibles and limitations, you're getting a solid Magic experience with significant additions compared to last year's version for less than what one starter deck would run you. Now, if I could just quit obsessing over Netrunner, I'd be able to appreciate it more.
This is the end of the show!